Okay guys, today we'll be continuing on with Chapter 3, Multiplication and Division of Decimals. We'll be doing Section 3.3 today, Multiplying Decimals by One-Digit Numbers. So write down your title, and then we'll get started. Okay, so recall your place values. So remember, we talked about this in the last unit. I just want to show you guys again a few examples of numbers and the place values. So here we have 5.91, so we have a digit in the ones place value, or decimal, our 9 in the tenths, or 1 over 10, and a 1 in the hundredths, or 1 over 100. And here are some more examples. Okay, remember the tenths, hundredths, and thousands, and so on. That's really tiny numbers, so that's numbers after our decimal. And our ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, etc. That's numbers, that's bigger numbers. It gets bigger and bigger. Okay, so no need to write that down. I just want to show you that. Alright, now I want you to try these examples on your own. I want you to round the following to a whole number. That means our ones digit. So I'm going to do the first one with you, and then you can try the last three together. Okay, so round to a ones digit, which means we look at our ones place value, and we also look at the one behind it to tell us if we round up or down. So our 1 over 10. So we want to round to 8, so we look at the one behind it. It's a 1, so we round down to 8. Okay, I want you to pause, try these three, and then come back and we'll correct them. Okay, by now you should have these three done. So 10 over 8, we want to round to the whole number. So we look at the number behind it. So we want to change this digit here in our ones value. We look at the number behind it. It's an 8, so we round up. So 10 becomes 11. Same thing here. We find our ones value. There it is. We look at the number behind it. It's a 5, so we round up. 2 becomes 3. And this one here, we look at our ones value. We look at the number behind it. It's a 0, so we round down, so it stays at 1. Alright, some new examples. This time, I want you to round the following to the tens digit. So our tens digit is here. So we look at the number behind it in our ones place to find out how we round. So I'll do the first one with you, and then I'll give you these three to try. So 17. This is our tens digit. We're going to look at the number behind it to round. So 17. 7 is rounding up. So the 1 becomes a 2. So 17 becomes a 20. Alright, pause the video, try the three of these, and then come back and we'll discuss them. Okay, by now you should have the three of those done. So 51. Alright, we want to round that either to 50 or 60. Well, what to be rounded to? We look at our 1, and we round down. 50. Alright, where's our tens value? Here. We look at the number behind it. 9 rounds up, so this becomes a 4, so we have 140. This one here, we find our tens value. We look at the number behind it. It's 4, that means round down, so this becomes 900. Round down, and 70. And we can write that nice and even. Okay, a few more examples. So now we got to round the following to the tenths. Okay, so I'm going to just change a few examples here. I noticed here I made a little mistake. So now, we're going to try the first one together, and then again I'm going to get you to try these three. So we're going to round the following to the tenths. So our tenths place is here. So we're going to have to look at the number behind it, or our hundredths, with the th at the end, to find out what we rounded to. So here's our tenths, and we look at the number behind it. So this one's going to become 17.1. Try the three of these on your own, and then come back and we'll correct them. Okay, so let's look at 51.07 here, and we got to look at the number behind it. So 51.1, because this rounds up. This one is going to be, and I know that the 139 is going to stay, oh, 1 second. Okay, so here we have our 8 and our tenths value. We have to check it. We have a 7 behind it. So we know that this is going to round up. So this becomes 139.9. This one here, got the 1 behind it, so this is going to round down to 8. Okay, if you had any problems with any of those, please let me know, or ask a friend to help you out. Alright, these seem a little bit easier. People find these pretty good because dollars are something that you see in real life. So round the following to the nearest dollar. So if you had $11.99, that's about $12. Okay, and again, dollar just means we're rounding to the nearest 1. So we're looking at this digit and looking at the number behind it to decide if we're rounding up or down. So this one, 48.09, $48.09. Well, that's roughly $48. Okay, I want you to write those two examples down, and when you're ready, we'll move on. Okay, so this is a review from last lesson and the lesson before. We are estimating the answer to the following. So estimating means we can round our decimals. So I want you to, in your book, I want you to write down the blue column on one side and the green column on another. When you have that done, I want you to match up the following. So for example, I'm going to do the first one. So 2 times 4.5. Well, this rounds to 5. So that's going to be 2 times 5. And 2 times 5 is 10. So I would match this up here. I want you to finish those in your exercise book. Pause the video, and when you're done, come on back, play the video, and we'll correct them. Okay, so by now you should have these done. So let's just check your answers. 5 times 9.30, where we're estimating, so we can round our decimal. So this becomes just 9. So 5 times 9 is 45. Okay, 8 times, and then we have a dollar in this one. So 8 times $1.94. Well, 1.94, that's close to 2. So 8 times 2 is 16, which means our last one should be 14. Well, let's just check. So 1.5 times 6.7. I'm just going to write, I got 2 decimals in it, so I'm just going to write it down here. 1.5 rounds up to 2. 6.7 rounds up to 7. So 2 times 7 is 14, which is correct. So check your answers. If you got them all right, correct them. If not, change your answers. And when you're ready, come on back. Alright, so I want you to write this down. I want you to solve the following. So before, I just have to flick back here, before we estimated that 2 times 4.5 is about 10, an estimate of 10. So that's around what it should be. So now we're going to solve. So now we're going to find the exact answer. And we're going to see if our exact answer is close to 10. So this is how I solve this one. I'm going to write it down in column method. So I'm going to write it down like this, what you're used to seeing. So I'm going to put my decimal on the top, 4.5 times 2. Okay, I just rearranged this, rewrote it in a different way. And then I'm going to multiply like usual. 5 times 2 is 10. So I put my 1's digit there, and then I carry my 1. And then 4 times 2 is 8, plus my 1 is 9. But here's the trick. Okay, here's our decimal. We have 1 digit after the decimal, 1 place. Can you see that? After the decimal, we have 1 place. So in our answer, we need to have 1 place after the decimal. So where do we put our decimal? With 1 digit behind, so between our 9 and our 0. So we solve this. Our exact answer is 9.0. Is it close to 10? Yes, it is close to 10. 9 is close to 10, so our answer is very close. So we know our estimate lets us know if we have the right answer, because it's around what we guessed. Okay, so write that down in your book. And then when we're ready, we're going to try another example of solving or finding the exact answer. Okay, so let's try another one. So I'm going to flick back. We guessed this one had an answer of 45. So I got that wrote here, a guess of 45. Let's see if we get an answer close to that. So we're solving the following. So our first step is to write this down. In what I call column method, so one on top of the other. And we put our decimal on the top, because we're used to seeing multiplication like this. So now, 0 times 5 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry my 1. 9 times 5 is 45, plus our 1 is 46. Okay, how many digits do we have after the decimal? There's our decimal. So we have 1, 2 digits, so we need 1, 2 here. And where do we put our new decimal? In between the 6 and the 5. Oops. Okay, so our answer is 46.50. Is this close to 45? Yes, it's pretty close to 45. It's not like we got an answer of 100 or an answer of 2. 46.5, very close. So this seems to be right. Okay, make sure you have that written down, and we'll move on. We're almost done for today. Alright, so this time we have $1. So 8 times $1, 94. Well, we guessed that was about 16. So let's check now. Alright, so first step is to write this in our column method with the decimal on top, the decimal number on top. Alright, 4 times 8 is 32. Carry our 3. 9 times 8. Okay, you should know that one right offhand. If not, you can use the finger trick that you do. But it's 72. 72 plus 3 is 75. Carry my 7. 1 times 8 is 8, plus 7 is 15. Okay, no more digits to multiply here. We look at how many digits is after our decimal point. Here's our decimal. We have 1, 2. So we needed 2 decimals. Sort 2 place values here, and then we can put our decimal point. So 1552, and this is a dollar question. So we can answer it actually with the dollar here. So $15.52. Is that close to 16? Yes, it is. Okay, now 2 more examples before we get to our practice work. And they're both word problems. So example, I want you to pause and write this down. When you're ready, we'll come back and read it over together and then complete it. Okay, so you go to Walmart to get some new socks. A pack of socks is $3.85. So 3.85. You want 2 packs of socks. So A, estimate, so we can round with this to see about how much money this will cost. So this is rounding. And B, solve to find the exact cost. So in part A, we can take a guess. So we have a pack of socks is 3.85. And we want 2 packs of them, so times 2. So we can estimate. We're finding about how much money it will cost. So we can round this to 3.85. We want to round to the nearest dollar, so we look at this number here. 8 rounds up, so this becomes $4 times by 2. So 4 times 2, that's going to be about $8. Okay, so this is from lessons before. Now, for part B, we're finding the exact cost. So we're going to do part B like we did this one. So we have 3, and I'm going to write it in column method. 3.85 times by 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. Carry our 1. 8 times 2 is 16. Add the 1 is 17. Carry our 1 again. 3 times 2 is 6, plus our 1 is 7. Look at how many numbers are behind our decimal. 2, so we need 2 down here. So our decimal goes right here. Now this is talking about dollars, so we add our dollar sign, and our answer has a dollar sign. So this costs, a pack of socks for $3.85, and you want 2 of them. This costs exactly $7.70. And that's close to our estimate of 8. So we know that our answer is right. Okay, if you had any trouble with this, let me know. Now we're moving on to the last example. Okay, so I want you to write this down in your book. And when you're done, we'll come back and we'll do this together. So, you go to Walmart again. This time to get some dog food for your puppy. Each bag of dog food weighs, we're not talking about dollars this time, each bag of dog food weighs 4.784 pounds. And you want to buy 6 bags of dog food. So in part A, I want you to estimate to see how much this would weigh, to see about how much this would weigh. So estimate, so we can round here. Okay, and B, I want you to solve to find the exact weight and see how close your estimate was. So A. So we have 4.784 pounds, and we want per bag, and we want 6 bags, so times 6. in part A, we're estimating. So I'm allowed to round. So I'm going to round to the nearest pound. So look at my 7 here, this rounds up. So 4 rounds up to 5. So 5 times 6 equals about 30. So 6 bags of this kind of dog food is going to weigh about 30 pounds. Now for part B, we're going to see how close that guess is. We're going to find the exact weight. So I'm going to write it in column method. 4.784 times it by 6. So 4 times 6 is 24. Carry our 2. 8 times 6 is 48. 48 plus 2 is 50. Carry our 5. 7 times 6 is 42. Add our 5, that's 47. Carry our 4. And then 4 times 6 again is 24, plus 4 is 28. If you're working with a decimal, always go back and put your decimal in your answer. Your decimal should be 3 place values in. So we need 3 place values here. 1, 2, 3. So our decimal point will be here. So 6 bags of dog food at this weight would weigh 28.704 pounds exactly, which is close to 30. 28 is close to 30. So we know that our guess is right. Or sorry, our exact answer is right because it's close to our guess. So I'm just gonna, you can always check it on the calculator as well. So 4.784 times 6, and it's 28.704. Perfect. Okay, so here's your work for today, your practice work. Textbook page 302, just 303, number 1, 2, 3, 5A, 6A and C, and 7. So write that in your book, and good luck, guys. I hope you enjoy this video.